Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, friends. Let me start with a true story which took place morning today. And the true stories always start from the family, from the home. I asked my wife today morning that will there be audience in my session? And she asked what is the topic? And I said the topic is about international experience, sharing the international experience. And her response was that since you're going to narrate the stories, you can count the ratio of panelists to the audience. And I think we can see that. But anyway, let's move ahead. Sir has asked me to be very brief about what I'm going to present here, though there are certain basics of e-governance which I had covered. E-governance for me is about good governance and about economic development. Somebody defined here in the earlier sessions that E stands for electronic. For me, the E stands for electronic as well as economic. At the same time, G is good governance. What is good governance? Good governance is about the way of decision making and how those decisions are implemented or not implemented. Economic development is all about a sustainable increase in the human and physical per capita income of that population of that country. What are the objectives? The objectives are about improving the delivery of services, which is the availability, the accessibility, and proactiveness. If these three are met, I think I meet this objective. Empower the citizens through the access of knowledge and information. I'll share one of the slide later, which is the experience about one of the country, that the country is pegged back completely since they did not had the connectivity at all. Engage the citizens in the power of e-governance. We have been listening since morning right now. Have a participatory approach. Engage the citizens in the power of governance and the governance more effective and efficient. If we meet these objectives, then we are going to deliver certainly the very high transparency. We are talking about less of fraud, corruption and malpractices. We are talking about high revenue growth and cost reduction. That means we are again meeting those two agendas, which is about good governance and economic development. These are certain driving forces, which are known to all of us. There should be a global competitive environment, and what is going to help achieve that is to really leverage on the strength of information and technology. Rising the customer expectations, we have come from actually the reactive approach to more of proactive and responsiveness, more of the satisfaction approach towards delightful, and now the e-services is just where electronics is just a means to more of the integrated, completely packaged services. So moving from E to I, online medium is becoming a choice, which I told earlier also. Why? It is because availability and the faster accessibility. Increasing need to do more with less. There is this tendency now of increasing need to do more with less. That means tending towards more innovation, a progressive attitude of mind, do the same work in a more efficient way. The biggest challenge for me, there are various challenges around e-governance, but the biggest challenge for me is really to see the successful projects, which we can really project on the global scene so that people tell us, yes, India is on the right track. So with that, with those drivers and the challenges, what are the enablers? These are the four enablers. We talk about people, processes, and resources, and technology. The majority contributors here are people, processes, and resources, which are contributing to almost 85% of achieving e-governance. But at the same time, we must meet the challenges around these three processes, these three enablers. Technology here is in minority, but it has a major role to play. And if it has a major role to play, then we must get it right. How do we get it right? Not in this fashion at all. What we are seeing is that every important source of the technology ecosystem, instead of working in tandem, works in different direction. What we are looking for is a cohesive and synergetic approach to give a working solution with a solid and viable business case. That is the agenda. So, if that is the agenda, to achieve a working solution with a viable business case, there is so much of debate still around standards and interoperability. And my thinking here is focused primarily on the access part of the e-governance in terms of technology. Not that, we are against it. Motorola is one of the leading proponent of, interoperability and standards. We have been, the board members and the principal members of various forums, and we do propose this. But at the same time, what are we trying to ensure? How does it really matter to the end user what kind of connectivity he has? Whether it is a 16D solution or 802.11 solution or a proprietary solution. End of it is what is delivered to him is what matters. And so the approach should be that if it is a neutral approach, then we are giving that responsibility to that service provider or the operator so that he delivers the right technology at right cost with a medium to long-term perspective. And that is what at the end we want. And with this, I jump onto the various cases which I wanted to share. The first of them is a municipal body in Kissimmee, Florida. This is, a population of around 50,000. This network covers around 13 square kilometer of area. The objective of this particular e-governance network which was built in a PPP model, was that to reduce actually the overall security threats in that area, the crime rate. There was this objective of reaching broadband to every household so that the government to citizen services can be offered to each person. And of course, these preemptive intelligence applications were built so that the traffic situation in that area can be controlled. Any problem can be controlled. And the results were seen within a year that the municipal body could achieve the return of investment within a year. The security threats and the crime rate was reduced almost by 30 to 35%. Okay, and the preemptive intelligence system also brought down the road offenses and accident rates drastically. On the similar lines, we have been involved in various other networks in various parts of the world, deploying actually the public safety applications at many places. My second case is about CERNET China, which is China's educational and research network. There are 200 odd campuses and over millions of students, going to these campuses. This is a fully government-owned project. They decided to build the networks around these campuses so that they could extend the local area network to the campus area so that it can be accessed from anywhere. The libraries were converted and are being converted into a completely digital library. There is an online examination facility which is targeted, and then digitizing and archiving the access of all the content, okay, of the lecturers, of the guest speaker, which is available to the students, faculty, or the visitors who are going to that campus. We have already implemented almost 20 odd campuses. Okay, and the target for the government is to complete this by March 2008. We are deploying a similar network in southern part of India, which is underway on the similar lines. This is a unique case of e-governance in education system in South Africa, where one of the problems for these the emerging economies is rising population, and so the number of students increase in the number of students. But at the same time, there's a lot of scarcity. There's a great scarcity of teachers, and so we, along with 5 or 6 government institutions near Pretoria, came out with this tele-learning platform, which ensures the delivery of the lectures from the nodal schools to the remote schools in a completely interactive fashion. And these authorities, after the success of that, have been extended